aim of this video is not to discriminate or harm reputation of a country, religion or a person. Aim of this video is to open eyes and minds to 400 million Buddhists in the world and to let them know what had really happened during 18th and 19th century when unearthing history of Lord Buddha to the world. We apologize if any person, country or institution got affected by revealing the truth contained in this video.
On a beautiful morning of 623 BC, Maya Devi, the queen of King Suddhodana of Kapilvastu, on her way to her maternal home Devdaha for the delivery of her first child, arrived at Lumbini Garden. Attended by the service providers, while walking slowly and enjoying the peace, tranquility and solace of the garden with the child in her womb, Maya Devi suddenly felt the labor pain. Realizing the time of delivery, she bathed in the Shakya Pushkarani located almost at the center of the garden. After purifying herself, she proceeded 25 steps to the north seeking support in her situation. Maya Devi held a branch of a beautiful tree full of flowers. The sacred garden of Lumbini was blessed by the birth of the future Buddha. All of a sudden, all trees burst into flowers and shared beauty and fragrance. Jeweled lotus bloomed with heavenly lights and sounds of the celestial palace. The birth of the auspicious and incredible child was welcomed and received by Lord Indra and Lord Brahma. Soon after the birth, Prince Siddhartha stood up right on a lotus pedestal and proclaimed, "I am the first and foremost of all the creatures to cross the riddle of the ocean of existence. I have come to the world to show the path of emancipation. This is my last birth, and hereafter I will not be born again." Buddhist literatures place Lumbini between Shakya kingdom of Kapilvastu in the west and Koliya kingdom of Devdaha to the east. 28 kilometers east of Lumbini lies Tilorakot, the ancient capital of the Shakyas, and 32 kilometers east of Lumbini is Devdaha, the ancient capital of the Koliyas. It was a beautiful pleasure or recreation garden collectively maintained by both the kingdoms during the lifetime of the Buddha. Lumbini is situated in Rupindehi district of Lumbini zone in western Nepal. It is about 300 kilometers southwest of Kathmandu and is well connected.
The Lord Buddha was born in 623 BC in the sacred area of Lumbini, located in the Terai plains of southern Nepal, testified by the inscription on the pillar erected by the Mauryan Emperor Asoka in 249 BC. UNESCO World Heritage Center has named it as a World Heritage Site based on the following. As the birthplace of Lord Buddha, testified by the inscription on the Asoka pillar, the sacred area in Lumbini is one of the most holy and significant places for one of the world's great religions. The archaeological remains of the Buddhist viharas as monasteries and stupas known as memorial shrines from the 3rd century BC to the 15th century AD provide important evidence to the nature of Buddhist pilgrimage centers from an early period. The remains within the Maya Devi temple consist of brick structures in a cross-wall system dating from the 3rd century BC to the present century. As per the common belief so far, Buddha has born and existed in Nepal and India. When UNESCO World Heritage Center named Ruminidai which is currently named as Lumbini in Nepal, considered these two main criteria. However, what will happen if we say these two major criteria are manipulated and intentionally falsified by one person? The person who claimed to be the one who discovered these two archaeological monuments to support his beliefs. Ashoka pillar in Lumbini is a fake. Observation number 1. The engraved inscription on the rock pillar remained brand new. By the time the pillar discovered in December 1896, the pillar of Ashoka in Lumbini, modern Nepal, even after approximate 2,300 years, exposure to weather and natural effects is still looking brand new. Observation number 2. The inscription in the ancient Brahmi script that's found to be clear-cut separation of words by keeping gaps between two words, which was not practiced during the 3rd century BC when creating inscriptions. Observation number 3. Even though the inscription was written in ancient Brahmi script, it has included characters used in Sanskrit, which is used in the 1st to the 4th century CE. So the Ashoka pillar inscription in Ruminidai is a mixture of both ancient Brahmi and Sanskrit writing. Who is Emperor Ashoka? The name Ashoka emerged from ancient Sri Lanka chronicles believed to be lived from 268 to 232 BCE. Further information about the life and reign of Ashoka primarily comes from a relatively small number of Buddhist sources. In particular, the Sanskrit Ashokavadana story of Ashoka, written in the 2nd century, and the two Pali chronicles of Sri Lanka, the Dipalmansa and Mahavamsa. It is believed that he has spread Buddhism around the world. See carefully on these images. On the right image, the Ashoka pillar in central Delhi, Firozshah Shah Kotla, erected by the Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, originally in Haryana Zambala area between circa 273 and 226 BCE, is showing clear signs of flaking and deterioration, approximately 2,000 years old. An image on the left, characters of inscriptions of the fake Ashoka pillar, Nepal Rumbididai, created by Alois Anton Ferrer, stays as brand new after 2,000 years by the time it was discovered. Maurya inscription in other places in India. All the other inscriptions by King Ashoka and in Maurya era do not have separated words as seen, and they have deteriorated due to natural causes. All other inscriptions found in India which belongs to the 3rd century BCE does not practice keeping gaps between two words or separation of words and had deteriorated to natural causes except the one in Ruminidai, which is the place currently named as Lumbini in Nepal, which is quite remarkable. The funniest thing is, at the top of the Ruminidai pillar, which is fake Lumine Ashoka pillar, there is a second inscription done by King Ripupala, who is also known from an inscription at the Nikali Sagar pillar during the 13th to the 14th century CE, many centuries after, shows clear signs of wear-off of the characters. To unearth this conspiracy, it is best to find who discovered the special pillar, what he was, and how he was. The exclusive pillar was discovered by Alois Anton Führer, a German archaeologist who worked under British governor to India, and his character and behavior is quite interesting to know. Alois Anton Führer was an Indologist who worked for the Archaeological Survey of India. He is known for his archaeological excavation, which he believed proved that Gautama Buddha was born in Lumbini, Nepal, India. Alois Anton Führer was born on 26 November 1853 in Limburg an der Lohe, Germany, into a German Catholic family. He studied Roman Catholic theology and Oriental studies at the University of Würzburg, ordinated in 1878, and received his PhD in 1879. His Sanskrit lecturer, Julius Joly, was associated with the Bombay School of Indology. Probably due to him, he was appointed as a teacher of Sanskrit at St. Xavier's Institute in Mumbai, now known as Mumbai. In 1882, Führer was able to publish 2 lectures about Hindu law in the Journal of the Bombay branch of the Royal Asiatic Society. Retrospectively, the lectures have been shown to be almost entirely plagiarized from earlier works. Only about 1/10 of the content has been shown to be of his own. Führer's archaeological career ended in disgrace. Führer came under suspicion from March 1898 following the report forgeries of the Buddha's relics. A formal inquiry was launched into his activities. Führer was officially confronted by Vincent Arthur Smith, who reported the forgeries of the Buddha's relics. Führer was exposed as a forger and dealer in fake antiques. Smith also blamed Führer for administrative failures in filing his reports to the government and for a false report about his preparations for future publications on his Hajjgal research. Führer was obliged to admit that every statement in the report was absolutely false. The false inscriptions supposed to authentify the Buddha relics were not mentioned in the investigations, apparently out of fear of casting doubt on the other epigraphical discoveries made by Führer. Similarly, the false publication of the ancient Burmese inscriptions were the object of an institutional cover-up, which would not come to light before 1921, with the revelation of their existence made by Charles Russell. Führer's own report on his discoveries in Nepal, entitled Monograph on Buddha Sakyamuni Birthplace 1897, was withdrawn from circulation. In 1901, Vincent Arthur Smith, after retirement, chose to reveal the blunt truth about the Nepalese discoveries and publish a stark analysis of Führer's activities, apparently worried that the reserved language used in previous official documents has been sometimes misinterpreted. In particular, Smith said of Führer's description of the archaeological remains at Nigali Sagar that every word of it is false, and characterized of Führer's epigraphic discoveries as impudent forgeries. Under official instructions from the Government of India, Führer's resignation was accepted and he was relieved of his positions, his papers seized, and his offices inspected by Vincent Arthur Smith on 22 September 1898. Führer had written in 1897 a monograph on his discoveries in Nigali Sagar and Lumbini, monograph on Buddha Sakyamuni birthplace in the Nepalese Terai, which was withdrawn from circulation by the government. Führer was dismissed and returned to Europe with his family. He died on 5 November 1913 in Binningen, Switzerland. Führer was replaced as curator of the Lucknow Museum by Edmund Smith, previously the province architectural surveyor. The excavations in the Nepal Terai were entrusted to Babu Purna Chandra Mukherjee, who published the results of his investigations in 1903 in a report on a tour of exploration of the antiquities in the Terai, Nepal, the region of Kapila Vastu, in which A. Smith included an introduction entitled Preparatory Note, which details several of the forgeries made by Furrer. Further, archaeological experts had repeatedly pointed out that the exclusive Ruminidai pillar in Nepal, Karan Lubini in Nepal, is a creation of recent past and creation of Furrer. It has proven during his investigation he had engraved fake inscriptions near statues of Jaina Mahavira who existed in India during the 6th century BCE to support his argument of Buddha existed in India. Apart from that, he has included in his reports about stupa which was never existed or found out in described locations by him. In that way, the biggest religious and archaeological scandal done by Furrer was revealed, but it did not expose to the world in such a way it was published when the pillar was found. Furrer had involved in discovery of Tiwara relics, which he claimed it is Lord Buddha's ashes and bone relics, which was famous as Kapila Vastupura relics. Later found that the relic he sent to the nun in Thailand named Uma belongs to a horse, and bones show as relics of Buddha are just remains of a pig. There are apparent similarities of statues of goddess in India, and holding a branch of a tree is quite common feature in statues of Indian goddess. In such cases, statue found in Maya Devi temple, which was interpreted as Mother Queen of Prince Siddhartha, can be suggested as a misinterpretation. When we further dig it down, name of Furrer re-emerge again. Original name of Maya Devi temple had been a temple for a locally worshipped goddess called Rupadehi or Ruminidai, and village people surrounding had worshipped and also had conducted animal sacrifices for the temple before renaming it. During the excavations on the site, it had been discovered bones of animals are being offered or sacrificed to the goddess. However, such findings was not given publicity and was contained to keep the narration and to continue to the economical benefits gaining from the Buddhist pilgrims. Furrer had introduced goddess Rupidehi temple to the world as Maya Devi temple. Statements of the Dr. Cunningham in his book In the Asian Geography of India testify the manipulation in this way. No trace of a Kapila has yet been discovered at the foot of Himalayas after the recognition of this area as the birthplace of Lord Buddha. Only recently, within 60 years, these names are being used in the maps on official documents.
What we're going to be doing is opening up a trench right in the center of the temple We have no real idea of what the archaeology is going to be like there, but we know the centre of the temple should be one of the most important points.
The agricultural development of the site and its relation to Mauryan expansion.
Here we go.
Scholars challenge Robin Cunningham's 2013 findings in Lumbini, Nepal. Julia Shaw, a lecturer in South Asian archaeology at University College London, commented, cautioned that the shrine may represent pre-Buddhist tree worship and that further research is needed. Richard Gombrich, the recent discovery of earliest Buddhist shrine, a sham, the story that garnered international headlines, make numerous unfounded and misinformed claims. Richard Gombrich is a Borden Professor of Sanskrit at University of Oxford from 1976 to 2004 and also a founder and president of the Oxford Centre for Buddhist Study, an Indologist and scholar of Sanskrit, Pali and Buddhist studies. Lars Fogelin also had expressed his doubts on Robin Cunningham's recent findings in Maya Devi Temple, Lumbini, Nepal. All archaeologists or historians who tried to recreate India and Nepal history blindly followed this misinterpretation when they're creating Indian history or Nepal history using ancient Sri Lankan Buddhist type documents such as Tripitaka and Mawawansa. It is apparent Arthur Llewellyn Beauchamp, who was the pioneer of rebuilding of Indian history, has done this mistake frequently, and that had led to miscombining someone else's history as Indian history. Further, it is understood that the period of Buddha existence had been an era of utterly chaos in political means due to the invasions. Are they making a fool out of people who believe in Buddhism and expect the followers to believe a narrated story based on a piece of wood that conveniently states that's where the prince was born? Will you not be intelligent followers among Buddhists that will sense this manipulation? What are they really trying to establish at a place where already proven as a fake identity, documents and history proven as falsified? Are they trying to continue this lie to generations and simply eliminating religious moral of Buddhists for the sake of economical benefits of related countries that stand to gain?
Can Mr. Robin Cunningham and the team answer the following? 1. Have you found an altar, rock carvings of Buddha's feet to denote the place is a Buddhist temple, flower offering tables or candlestones? 2. Is it a miracle finding a root in a place which had been a jungle for 1,000 years? Based on what you said, the piece of root you found during excavation had been a tree people used to worship. Do you have any proof? 3. How do you interpret there has been a Buddhist temple or a place of worship based on wooden fossils? Only you can suggest that piece of wood may be as old as 600 to 1000 BCE based on radiocarbon dating process, aren't you? 4. Have you found any root which belonged to the sal tree or Shoro robusta at the excavation site? If it is the exact birthplace, you should have found the remains of a tree or Shoro robusta tree as per the Buddhist chronicle, wouldn't you? Are you aware sal tree or Shoro robusta is not growing within Nepal? Do you have any evidence to have these arguments, or are your findings just a figment of your imagination? Memoirs of Chinese travelers such as Faxian were used to reconstruct the Buddhist history of Nepal. However, the Jabudippa era above is responsible for the mistranslation of Persian accounts. Thus, the location and distances assumed are incorrect. The Nepal origin story begins with the fake Asokan pillar and established further with flawed archaeology and scholarship.
The confusion had happened due to archaeologists who had poor knowledge on Indian and Asian contacts, local languages in Asia, and Buddhism and Jainism. Those people have intentionally or unintentionally interpreted and misunderstood statues of Jaina Mahavira as Buddha. Alois Anton Ferrer intentionally falsified ancient ruins or statues of Jaina Mahavira as Buddha to support his argument by creating fake identities to those archaeological sites. Jainism is a completely different religion and practice in India compared to the path shown by Buddha in his teachings, which was not existed in India by the time British colonization happened. Close similarities of Jaina Mahavira statues and Buddha statues make confusion to the archaeologists who tried to find out religious and Indian history back then. This confused understanding and judgment has been introduced to the world as Buddhism, and Buddha originated in India. This lies being told to generations which lived in the late 18th and 19th centuries. As per the ancient religious and historical records, there had been no meetup of Buddha and Jain Mahavira, or else if it happened, it has to be recorded among Buddhist preaching. Deduction is Buddha and Mahavira had not existed in same country, or else definitely not in India. The conclusion: Buddha was born in the 6th century BC or possibly as early as 624 BC, according to some scholars. Other researchers believe he was born later, even as late as 448 BC. And some Buddhists believe Gautama Buddha lived from 563 BC to 483 BC. However, if Buddha had existed in India or Nepal, there has to be proof or archaeological findings related to the phenomena. It seems it is totally blackout period in concern to Indian history without any documented records. Even Mauryan inscriptions emerged between 322 and 185 BCE after approximately 300 years, which does not support the argument except the fake inscription created by Alois Anton Ferrer. So, where exactly Buddha first existed and where really exactly Buddhism originated from? Stay tuned for our next video. Where exactly is Lord Buddha born? Watch out for the next video to find out. If you like my video, please like, comment and share, and also subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell for the notification of the next video. Till then, take care, bye bye.